She's not looking at your face the way you think she is. She's reading you. Every thread, every button, every choice you made when you got dressed this morning is telling her a story about who you are, what kind of life you live, whether you're the kind of man worth her attention. And here's the part that stings. Most older men have no idea what story they're telling. They think they've aged out. They grab whatever's clean, walk out the door, and wonder why the woman at the coffee shop doesn't look up. But the man 3 tables over, same age, same height, same bald spot, has her full attention. The difference isn't luck. It's not looks. It's what he's wearing. Today I'm breaking down 7 specific things that older men wear that make women lean in without knowing why. Not trends, not magazine nonsense. The real pieces that trigger something deep and instinctive that says, this man is different. Pay attention. Stay with me through number 7. That last one is the secret weapon most men never discover. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's go. The well-fitted white shirt. Sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? A plain, crisp, white button down. You're thinking, that's the big opening. Let me tell you what this shirt actually is. It's a psychological weapon when worn correctly by an older man. Women have told me this over and over in my coaching work. A white shirt on an older man does something specific. It frames the face. It makes gray hair look distinguished instead of tired. It makes a tan forearm look like it belongs on a boat in the Mediterranean. And when those sleeves are rolled up, not sloppily, not up to the elbow like you're about to do dishes, but 2 clean folds just below the elbow, you've triggered something primal. That exposed forearm with a watch against clean white cotton is the single most underrated attraction signal in men's style. But here's where men ruin it. They wear a shirt that fits like a tent. It billows, it hangs off them like a borrowed bedsheet. They tuck it in badly. They button it straight to the collar. And instead of looking like a man who owns his presence, they look like a man who raided someone else's closet. The fit is everything. The shoulder seam lands exactly where your shoulder ends, not halfway down your arm, not crawling up your neck, exactly at the edge. The shirt follows the line of your body without clinging. A little room, not a lot. Women notice the man in the simple white shirt before they notice the man in the flashy patterned one, every single time, because that white shirt says something. Without saying a word, I don't need to shout. I don't need to decorate myself to be seen. I'm comfortable enough in my own skin to let the simplicity speak. Get 3. Wear them on rotation. Watch what changes. A real leather belt. This is something men almost never think about, but women notice it within 3 seconds of meeting you. Not that synthetic, shiny, plasticky thing you bought at a department store a decade ago that's starting to peel at the edges. I mean a real, full-grain leather belt, the kind that has weight to it, the kind that smells like leather when you pull it from your closet. The kind that develops a patina over years and looks better at 10 years old than it did the day you bought it. Here's why it matters more than you think. A woman's eye travels when she's evaluating a man. Face, shoulders, hands, waist, shoes. That's the circuit. And the belt sits at one of the most critical junction points on your entire body. It's where your shirt meets your pants. It's the frame around the middle of you. And if that frame is cheap, everything else gets downgraded in her mind. A quality leather belt in rich brown or deep black with a simple, understated buckle, not one of those giant, shiny statement pieces that looks like a rodeo prize, tells her something immediately. It tells her you know the difference between quality and junk. It tells her you invest in the details. It tells her you understand that a man isn't remembered for his loud pieces, but for his quiet ones. Women love this. They love it because they've been trained their entire lives to notice the small things. The woman who picks the right handbag, who wears the right earrings, she lives in a world of detail. And when she meets a man who also lives in that world, she recognizes him instantly as someone different. One good belt. Condition the leather once a year. Let it age with you, and watch how it earns you respect without a single word ever being exchanged. The solid chronograph watch. In a world where every man under 30 walks around with a phone in his pocket and nothing on his wrist, the older man who still wears a real mechanical analog watch is sending a signal that cuts through all the noise. And I'm not telling you to spend $30,000 on a Swiss timepiece. That's not the point. The point is that you wear something. A watch on the wrist of an older man says he respects time, that he has somewhere to be, that he has a rhythm to his life that doesn't depend on pulling a glowing rectangle out of his pocket every 10 minutes. Women love this for reasons they often can't articulate. So let me articulate it for you. A watch is jewelry for men that's allowed. It's the one socially accepted ornament a man can wear without anyone questioning it. And when she sees a well-chosen watch on your wrist, whether it's a vintage piece inherited from your father, a diver's watch, a pilot's chronograph, a dress watch with a leather strap, she is reading the story you're telling about yourself. A leather strap tells her you're a thinker. A metal bracelet says you're an operator. A pilot's watch says you've had adventures. A dive watch says you can handle the deep water. Each one is a deliberate character choice in the story of your own life, and the mechanical nature of a real watch, the way it ticks, the way it has a face, the way it requires winding and care, mirrors something women already understand about good men, that they require attention, that they are built, not manufactured, that they age well when cared for properly. A man without a watch in his 50s or 60s looks like a man who has surrendered to time. A man with a watch looks like a man who is still very much in the game, where one every day, even on weekends, especially on weekends. Dark, well-tailored denim. Here's where I lose some of you, but stay with me. A lot of older men believe they can't wear jeans anymore. They think denim belongs to the young, that once you cross a certain age, you switch to khakis and polyester blends and accept the fade. This is one of the biggest mistakes a man can make, because dark, well-tailored denim on an older man is one of the most attractive things a woman can lay her eyes on. Here's why. Khakis, especially pleated khakis, do something terrible to the male silhouette. They widen the waist, they wash out the legs, they broadcast a message that you have stopped trying. A pair of dark, straight-leg jeans in a rich indigo or near black wash, fitted properly through the thigh without being tight, does the exact opposite. It lengthens the leg. It darkens the lower half of the body, making the shoulders appear broader by contrast. It gives you structure. It gives you edge. And an older man with a little edge is absolutely devastating to the female eye. The rules are simple. The denim must be dark. It must be clean. No distressing, no rips, no paint splatters, no faded thighs. Leave that to the men who are working too hard for the wrong reasons. Simple, dark, rich, and cut well. Pair it with a quality leather shoe, a tucked-in shirt, a good belt, and you have built a silhouette that says, modern man, aging entirely. On his own terms, comfortable in his body, not frozen in 1987 or trapped in 2005, women see an older man in good denim and they know something. He knows who he is. He hasn't surrendered. He's still in the fight. 2 pairs of great jeans outperform 10 pairs of forgettable pants by quality. Wear them until they form to you. Let them become part of who you are. The cashmere or merino crew neck sweater. We're halfway through, and I want to talk about something that sounds almost too intimate for a style conversation. I want to talk about fabric. Here's what most men never understand about women. They are tactile creatures. They touch things. They notice texture. They remember how things feel long after they've forgotten how things looked. When a woman is near a man, her instinct, whether she acts on it or not, is to assess what he's wearing. On a physical level. How it moves, how it drapes, how it would feel beneath her hand. This is exactly why a fine cashmere or merino wool crew neck sweater is a weapon in the wardrobe of an older man. Not that lumpy, pilling, acrylic thing your aunt bought you for Christmas. In 2009, I'm talking about a real, soft, drapable sweater in a fine natural fiber. The kind that sits close to the body without clinging. The kind that feels genuinely luxurious when a hand brushes against it. The kind that breathes and moves and falls across the shoulders like it was made specifically for you, even if it was an older man in a navy crew neck cashmere sweater with a crisp shirt collar visible at the neck is one of the most attractive combinations in all of men's wear. It reads intelligent, it reads warm, it reads approachable, it reads sophisticated without announcing it. And here's where it becomes something more. When a woman hugs a man wearing quality cashmere, something registers in her immediately. The softness lands, the quality lands. She doesn't have to think about it consciously. Her hands already know. And when her hands know that a man chose to wear something beautiful next to his skin, she files that information away under a very specific heading. This man takes care of himself. The colors to own. Navy, charcoal gray, deep forest green, burgundy for the bold among you. Skip the pastels. Skip the bright colors. Let the richness of the fiber carry the statement. Real shoes. We need a direct conversation about what's on your feet. I don't care if you've been wearing those same worn-out athletic sneakers since the last administration. I don't care if they're comfortable. I don't care if they're your favorites. Women look at shoes. Not sometimes, always. It's among the first things her eyes find when she meets you, and among the last things she registers when you walk away. And if your shoes are beaten up, scuffed, generic, or worst of all, Dirty athletic shoes worn outside of any athletic context. She has already formed a complete judgment about you before you've said a single word. An older man who wears real shoes is telling the world something. He's telling them he has graduated. He is not a teenager, not a college student. He is a grown man who understands that certain footwear belongs in certain contexts, and that everyday life calls for something more elevated than rubber soles and mesh uppers. The sweet spot lives in 3 categories: a quality leather loafer, suede brown for casual, black leather when slightly dressed up, a pair of clean, simple leather sneakers in white or cream. The kind that looks like a European man on a leisurely afternoon in Milan, and a good pair of Chelsea boots, which are, in my opinion, the single most magnetic shoe an older man can own. The Chelsea boot especially, sleek, slightly rugged, slightly refined, pulls on and off without effort, makes every outfit look like it was planned on purpose. A man in dark jeans, a cashmere sweater, and Chelsea boots has assembled 90% of everything women find compelling in a single outfit. Keep them polished, keep them clean, replace them when real wear sets in. Your shoes are not wear. You save money. They are where you invest in yourself. And one final note, gentlemen. When a woman compliments your shoes, you have already won. She doesn't hand out compliments casually. She was evaluating, and you impressed her enough that she had to say something out loud. The scarf. We've arrived at number 7, the secret weapon. The piece almost no American man ever learns to use, but the piece that, when worn correctly, elevates an older man from average to genuinely unforgettable, before you roll your eyes and call it a European affectation that has nothing to do with your life. Stop. Stay right here. Because I'm going to explain why this single accessory is the most underutilized weapon in the older man's entire arsenal. A scarf does 3 things at once. First, it directs attention to the face. Women evaluate men primarily through facial presence. The jawline, the eyes, the expression. A scarf wrapped properly around the neck creates a frame that pulls her gaze directly upward toward everything she is actually trying to assess. Second, a scarf adds texture and color to an outfit in a way that feels deliberate rather than loud. You can wear an entirely neutral combination: dark jeans, gray sweater, black boots, add one scarf, and suddenly the whole look has personality, movement, a story. Third, and this is the one that truly matters, a scarf communicates something very specific about a man. It says he is not afraid of looking sophisticated. He has lived, he has traveled, he has been places. He knows how to dress for weather, for context, for elegance. Here's the rule. Do not wear a scarf like you're wrapping a package. No tight, complicated knots. The best approach for an older man is the simple drape, fold it in half, place the loop on one side, the tails on the other. Pull the tails through the loop. Done. It hangs naturally. It looks completely effortless. It looks like you didn't try. And that is the deepest secret of all men's style, by the way. The appearance of effortlessness. The woman who sees an older man in a draped scarf thinks exactly one thing. He didn't try too hard, but he tried exactly enough. Materials matter. In cold weather, wool or cashmere in a solid color. Charcoal, navy, camel. In spring and fall, a lightweight cotton or linen in a subtle pattern. Nothing too flashy, nothing too busy. The scarf whispers. It does not shout. I have watched men in their 60s, men who had written themselves off as invisible. Add a simple charcoal cashmere scarf to their daily routine and report back that women began looking at them in ways they hadn't experienced in 20 years. Not because the scarf is magic, because the scarf signals a man who is paying attention to himself again. And when you pay attention to yourself, the world starts paying attention to you. So there they are. The white shirt, the leather belt, the watch, the dark denim, the cashmere sweater, the real shoes, the scarf. But I want to leave you with something that goes deeper than a shopping list, because if you take these 7 things and throw them on without understanding what we just built together, you'll miss the entire point. Women are not attracted to clothes. Women are attracted to the kind of man who chooses those clothes. And the difference between those 2 things is everything. A man who wears a great watch because he genuinely respects time is magnetic. A man who wears a great watch because he watched a video about it is invisible. The objects don't carry the signal. You carry the signal. The clothes simply amplify it. So when you start dressing this way, dress because you've decided you are worth the effort. Dress because you've decided the next chapter of your life is not a retreat but an expansion. Dress because you've made a choice to honor the man you still are, not grieve the boy you used to be. The greatest mistake older men make is believing their best years have already passed. I'm telling you, As someone who has walked through thousands of these transformations, that is a lie you've been handed and never questioned. A man who dresses with intention, who carries himself with real self-awareness, who shows up to the world, having made deliberate choices about how he presents himself, remains attractive at every single age. The gray hair is not a problem. The lines around the eyes are not a problem. The settled presence, the slower pace, the quiet authority, these are not problems. They are your advantages. You just have to know how to frame them. Go buy one thing from this list this week. Just one. A good white shirt. A proper leather belt. A scarf. Don't overwhelm yourself. Build slowly. Let your wardrobe become a reflection of the man you are growing into, not a museum dedicated to the man you once were. And when the compliments come, and they will come when you catch a woman looking twice in the grocery store, when you feel that old confidence waking up somewhere inside your chest, remember what started it. Hit that like button if this reached you. Subscribe if you want more honest conversation about dating, style, and what it actually means to be an older man who still shows up fully for his own life. Tell me in the comments which of these 7 you're going after first. Your best decade is not behind you. It is standing right in front of you. You just have to dress like you already know that. See you in the next one, gentlemen.